You do 12 months. It's a 12-month contract. It's a 12-month
is it?
sign-up. So you need to find out when it expires, because then we can swap it for every man. It's the same cost.
But and you can go and see as many films as you want.
Yeah. But then the only difference is that it's a bit of a long walk.
I was going to say.
Well, I'm sure we'll cross that bridge.
Well, when we get sponsorship for this, then we can put that towards your taxi fares.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
What? He's getting taxi, not a chauffeur?
Oh, good point.
I expect them to bring the everyman to me.
Or like a Coke-mobile or something.
I'd love a Pokemobile.
You're every woman, mate. That's what you are.
I'm every person. That's what I... person.
Every them day.
I'm every them. I am every day. Should we start? Are you ready? Are you ready out there?
Are we recording?
I think we are.
Okay, so...
Looks like it.
Hello.
Yep, we're recording.
This is it.
You know, showing off your pencil again.
Zoom in, baby.
Right.
Pa. Popcorn Pundits.
Yes, the comic version.
I made you jump.
Laughing for?
You went papa and you went.
Well, doesn't take much, really.
To be fair, you should have been expecting it happens every
You
week.
think with all the horror movies I've seen.
That was the 19th time that I've done that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not the 19th time that I did that, though. This is your Popcorn Pundits. It's your weekly insight into the silver screen, brought to you by James, Peter and Nikki. Hi, guys. How's everybody? Nikki's back to join us.
Yeah. Hi, Nikki.
Yeah, all is forgiven.
Did you have a nice holiday?
I did, thank you. It was lovely.
Good, she went up north. So, this is your weekly Popcorn Pundits podcast, reviewing the top 10 at the cinema, talking about a film in particular, and then Peter's going to talk about the homework I've given him. Hello, Peter Unger.
Hi. So when you said
Yes.
James, Peter, Nikki, I thought you were changing
I
your
know,
name for the first
yeah.
time. I panicked slightly and thought I might have to come up with something comedic in reply, but
Comedic.
I'm glad I didn't have to.
So am I. What am I doodling for?
I'm not quite sure.
It's like,
So what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah. Sorry?
What we're going to be doing? We're going
to be talking about the top 10 at this cinema at this exact date. What's the date, Nicky McMickey?
It is
Thursday.
Thursday the 29th. It's a leap year this year.
It is.
Oh, that's it.
It's an extra. We stuck in an extra day, especially for the Popcorn Pundits.
So if today were Tuesday and actually the 29th is Thursday in 2 days' time, what would you be doing with your 29th of February?
I would be just enjoying the extra day of the year, really. Just sauntering around, probably going to the cinema. That sort of thing. What would you be doing?
Well, I am. Today I did play in a golf competition.
Did you?
I can't tell you how I did. I'll let you know next week.
Okay, let me know how you did next week.
So confused.
Yes, exactly.
Right, this week's top 10.
Do you want to start at number 10?
I will do. My thing cut off number 10, so I've had to pen it in at the bottom. But number 10 is The Zone of Interest.
Better than thumbing it in.
Thanks, James.
That's right.
Which I haven't seen. I tried to go and see it this week, but I couldn't see it on anywhere.
I'd love to see this. I've heard so many amazing things about
me
it.
too.
So we just need to keep a radar
We
out
will
on
hunt
it.
it down. You were going to go and see the film we did go and see in Aylesbury because we couldn't find that one.
I was going to drive an hour away.
And then you shouted at me when I said I'd seen it that morning. But
exactly.
Anyway. Number 9 is The Iron Claw.
Or just the iron.
The Iron.
Yeah, that too.
Domestic violence.
Number 8 is Wonka.
Yes. Back again.
And number 7 is Argyle.
That hasn't got long, has it?
No, I mean it's dropping like a stone now, but it is still in the chart after 4 weeks, which is shocking because I can't believe anyone wants to see that. But anyway, there we go. Number 6 is the National Theatre's live production of Vanya, which I went to see. I went to see this week. And
Are you going to give us a small insight into it in a moment?
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Is it a film? If Beyonce and Cole...
I'm allowing this because of Andrew Scott, quite frankly.
Okay.
Man can do no wrong. So if he was standing there playing the banjo, just wearing a leotard, I'd be happy to call it a film.
Oh, well, that's great because that's what he does in this. So that's the review done there, just in one sentence. It's absolutely mesmerising.
Is it?
It is.
Is it a one-man show?
It's a one-man show, and we've seen a trailer of it.
We have.
And it looks like it's just a diatribe to the audience. but he actually plays multiple characters.
Oh, does he?
And the skill of his acting by having signature moves for different characters
Right.
means that even when he's not speaking, you know who he's performing
Oh, I see,
as.
because his demeanour changes.
Mannerisms
Yeah.
and things that he does with certain props and things. And it is...
Is it a long show?
It's 2 hours shorter than I thought it was.
That's what I'm asking, yeah.
Yeah. The running time on my ticket said that it was 3.5 hours.
Yes.
And it's not. It's under 2 hours long.
Okay, so it's manageable from a live performance point of view.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot over recent weeks about a lot of the films that you've sent me as homework
Yes.
have been stage play-esque
Absolutely.
vignettes, and this one is the opposite way around, that it is a stage play which is on at the cinema.
Okay.
After an hour and a half, I was kind of worried where the other hour and a half was going to go,
Right.
and I had to kind of barter with myself as to whether another hour and a half of Andrew Scott
Or
doing
maybe
this...
a quick kip.
And a nap won.
Yeah.
So basically I decided that I was going to take a little snooze,
Right.
and then it ended just
Oh,
as
I
I was
see.
about to fall asleep. So it was but it is...
Would you recommend people going to... Do you still get that sense of theatre when you go to the cinema to see it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so the way the lighting is done, the way the stage is done, so the lighting is really, really simple.
Yep.
The stage is very, very open.
Yep.
I would say that if people haven't experienced one of these live recordings,
Yes.
this could be a really, really good one to go
Okay.
and see, because I mean the hour and a half did fly by. He acts so sublimely. I mean, he's absolutely beautiful, and and we've just come off the back of All of Us Strangers,
Yep.
and we're all kind of a bit in love with him at the moment. His comedic performance is just beautiful.
Okay.
It's incredible. So I would say it's not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
However, if you have a theatrical edge to you, I would suggest that this is a great one to go and see.
Good, okay. But
I scored it.
Yes.
Give me 1 second.
absolutely.
I scored it 8.5.
That's amazing.
It's a
It's
big,
very,
it's a
big score. Big, but it's a very special thing. So I think it deserves a big score. These sort of things, and I think it adds another level of interest in the cinema as well.
I've just seen what's number 5. Okay, number 5.
Number 5, in a slight juxtaposition to that, give me the contrast of Madam Web. You went to see that as well.
I went to see this yesterday.
Why?
Because
He's a pundit and that's his job.
I had a really lovely day off yesterday, and
You thought you'd ruin it.
I went golf lesson, went to the driving range, went to the gym,
Yep.
had a little bit of lunch,
Nice.
and then it was 4:30, and I thought, well, I'm not going to the cinema until 7:50.
Yeah.
So what shall
am I
I
gonna
do?
do
I went,
now?
oh well, I might as well take one for the team and go and watch Madam Web.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're not welcome. It was horrific.
Marks out of 10. Just give it marks
A marks
out
out
of 10.
of 10. Okay, so I mean, I think this has been quite heavily reviewed everywhere. That's what I called it.
Wow. Yes. I don't blame you.
Yeah, there we go. I scored it 4. It's basically, so you start watching it, and
Yeah.
I really like Dakota Johnson as an actress.
yeah.
I think she's great, and it starts off.
She hasn't really come on my radar, to be quite honest with
She
you.
hasn't really. Yeah, she hasn't found her film yet, and I think there is a film out there for her, but.
Not this one, though.
No, this starts and it feels like a Marvel beginning.
Yeah.
And it just ends there. There's just like no content whatsoever. It's the worst villain ever. It's the worst concept ever. It's basically this is what should have been a flashback for. They always trail the next movie that's going to
Yes.
happen. This has
Yes.
got 3 young characters who are clearly going to be spider babes,
Yeah.
which
And
thought...
they're going to have their own independent movies, their own
and
independent television
this
series.
needed to be nothing more than a flashback. The content was rubbish. Basically, she can see a little bit into the future, and she basically just changes the little bit of the future, and that's the entire story.
And you thought she would have seen how bad the film was.
You would have done,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
or uncast herself.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right.
you've given it a 4.
I gave it 4. Just
Yep.
pants.
It's
Just a waste.
3.8 on IMDb.
Oh, okay, there you go.
You overscored it.
Yeah,
You
that
overscored
doesn't
it.
happen very often, does it?
Number 4,
It's Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
You went to see this week, didn't you, James? Can you tell us all about it?
No, I did not go and see it. But I do quite fancy the idea of it, though.
Do you?
I do quite
Tell
fan-
me about it.
Well, is it an animation? Animation.
Do.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Anime.
It's anime. It's anime. I quite fancy. I'm
Oh,
gonna.
you love a bit of anime.
I'm gonna try to carve a little bit of time over the weekend to watch it because I haven't seen a good anime at the cinema for quite some time.
Okay, I will come with you.
I'll give you a shout.
Okay, perfect. Number 3 is Migration. This is the longest top 10 we've ever done.
Well,
No.
Sorry about that, guys. Number 2 is Wicked Little Letters.
which we reviewed last week.
Yeah, and did you our friend Phil Ball worked on that? Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes, but I saw them yesterday, and
Absolutely.
yeah, they were
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, well done.
Well
Good
done,
work.
you, Phil, and
Good
you've well done
work.
Poor Things
Good
as well.
work. Oh, did he? Okay, I
You
didn't
did,
know that.
yeah.
Brilliant. And
Number 1.
Bob Marley, One Love.
One Love at number 1. That's quite.
So it was a throw up, a dice up, a rollover. What is it?
Toss off.
Yeah, a toss up as to
Yeah.
whether I was going to see Bob Marley, One Love, or Madam Web. Because I knew you didn't want to see Bob Marley either.
Did you wish you tossed the other way then?
Yeah, I always do.
You could have seen. You could have seen the Wicked Little Letters again.
So yeah. Anyway,
That's your top 10.
Actually, what? Yeah.
So out of the top 10, what are we recommending people to go and see? We're recommending people to go and see Wicked Little Letters. Definitely go and see that.
Oh, so
Migration if you've got a child. Don't see Madam Web. Don't see Argyle. See Wonka if you've got a brain, and see the Iron Claw.
Don't bother. See it live. See it at home.
Oh, I can't think. I think
See
they
it when
should
it
do. I
streams.
think they should do. And obviously, if you see Zone of Interest, let us know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. Happy days. So that is our top 10 out the way.
Indeed. Yeah.
Part 2. Nikki, how we doing?
Yeah, you're doing well. The local Everyman will have the Zone of Interest on Thursday today. Pretty much.
Thursday today.
Thursday
Thursday
I was
today.
going to say Thursday, and then I realised we're still in February.
Oh, okay. I'll go and see it earlier on.
Okay.
That'd be a good idea. Go and see it a minute ago.
So, what did we go and see this week?
This week we had the fortunate opportunity to watch the Holdovers, which was weirdly having one showing. It was like a little island.
Well, the launch of this film
Yes,
is actually something to discuss.
I think so.
So, this is a Christmas movie.
100. I'm so glad you said that.
It is. So I saw it much closer to Christmas than you did. So I saw it weeks and weeks ago.
Yep.
Because I was off from work and I found a showing at the Everyman in Marlow for at 10:30 in the morning on a
Okay.
Thursday or Friday morning.
And you
or
thought, I'll have a
something.
stab at that.
And I just thought, oh, do you know what? I want to go and see it, and
Yep.
I can't find it. It's not as bad as having to travel to Aylesbury. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go, and I went to see it, and I was just like, oh, I want to see this with James.
Yeah,
This is honestly, it is the. I think this is the most anticipative I've been for you to see a film because it is. Yeah, go on.
So really, really quickly before we go into how we feel about it and the colours and the beautiful scenery and everything else to go. So let's do a quick roundup of the story. So the Holdovers. It is it's a film based in 1970.
Yep.
It's centered around a school teacher called Paul. Is that Handom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a private school, isn't it?
It's a prep school. It is. I'm assuming it's quite a high level prep school by the money that's mentioned all the way through the film. So it's based in 1970s, and it really feels like it's based in 1970s. It's very, very clever the way that it envelops you in that world immediately. I think, particularly with the opening credits, the opening credits seem to take forever because back in the day. You had a list of every single actor, every single Mike Holden, so on and so forth, even before the film started, and you kind of got a feel for that at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, and the all the kind of production banners that you get up at the beginning.
That's right.
Are all done
Miramax.
in 1970s font, and the texture of the film.
Yes.
Is that of a 1970s
Very
film.
much so.
It feels like you're watching an old movie
100%.
in the way that it's been filmed.
And that to me, that level of detail for the theatre really sets up the whole film for the viewer.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it already feels like a Christmas classic.
It does.
I'm watching it twice in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I did kind of settle down,
Yeah.
and I was a bit kind of like, oh, this is good. I can't wait for this to begin.
So as we've established, Paul is a school teacher in a prep school, a expensive prep school, and he's not liked by anybody at all. And he knows that, the students know that, the teachers know that, and he's angry. He is he's opinionated. He's a snob when it comes to literature. He has no time for students who aren't taking it overly seriously, and he's venomous with his teaching, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that even the other teachers would turn around to him and go, "Oh, come on,
Well,
give the kids a bit of a break." Sometimes
he's a real purist when it comes to
100%.
the morals of the school. So
Yes.
basically, he takes the school's original moral code.
That's right.
And believes that it's his job.
That's right. He's
to
tattooed it on his chest, isn't he?
educate these troglodytes and
as he's mentioned many times
yeah.
before when he's smoking it.
yeah, and basically he just thinks they're all stupid morons,
Yes.
and they're
But
basically they're only there
But
because
he
of
does
their wealth.
he does give accolade to the ones that are talented and do well. He's not afraid to score one or two students well if they are achieving.
Yeah.
So he's not evil. You're right. He's just very opinionated and very old school in his even from a 1970s point of view.
Yeah, well, he's given the task
Yes.
of looking after the children that can't travel home for Christmas.
That's right. Hence the holdovers.
Yes.
Yes.
Looking after them over Christmas in the school. And
Yes.
the reason he's given that job
Yes.
is basically because he didn't give the minor grade that one of the rich students
Yes.
needed to get into Princeton.
Even after they bought the library.
Yeah. So the headmaster of the school, who was one of his former students,
Yes.
he's very cross with him,
Very.
and basically he makes him.
He gives
stay
an
over.
opportunity to have a bit of a dig at him, doesn't he? Really?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got a classic story set up, and the snow is even classic. The music's classic. It's got a very John. What's the name of that quintessential 1970s, early 80s composer that would be on every single film, such as Caddyshack and so on and so forth. It really envelops that whole 1970s feel. It is so clever. Did you know that it was filmed in digital?
So I did because because of the texture of the film, I was quite interested to see
Yeah.
actually how it was produced.
Yeah.
And it was.
But they've grained it afterwards
Yeah,
to give that
it's-
real, but
it's-
authentically.
It's filtered. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost worth not saying that because it does feel like
Yeah.
it was recorded on
I agree.
celluloid. Yeah, but
Are
So-
you thinking John Williams?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was waiting for somebody to step in and go,
see,
come on.
we wouldn't have got that last week.
No, we would not. So you've got a classic story of a teacher that is not particularly liked, but he's got that comic element. He's funny to look at because he's so angry. You've got a group of students that have been kind of disowned by their parents because they're off skiing or they're doing different bits and bobs. So they're left in this prep school over the Christmas period. A little bit like Hogwarts.
Yeah,
in that
and
respect.
they're all a little bit. They're all really uncomfortable about the fact
course
they've
they
been
are.
left there, and
Yeah.
they've all been left there for different reasons.
And they're all uncomfortable for different reasons as well.
Exactly,
Some of them
yeah.
some of them are angry at their parents. Some of them are just angry at the world. Some of them are left there as a punishment. Other ones are just left there because their parents are so rich that they just live on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So they can't be taken away, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to feel sorry for them because they are so dripped in entitlement.
And they're vile.
And
I
they're
mean,
vi-
they're vile.
they are
I mean,
vile.
Yeah, I mean, even the main character
Yes.
is vile.
Yes. So you've got Paul, the teacher. You also have Angus, who is the oldest child in the group, and he happens to be left behind even after the other children happen to escape halfway through the Christmas term, which we won't explain how.
No, but it is a lovely shift in the movie,
There
isn't
is.
it? And a totally unexpected shift.
I didn't expect it at all.
No,
Because at
me
one
either.
point you've got half a dozen children in the holdovers, and all of a sudden there's one child.
Yeah.
And the focus is drawn on Paul the teacher, Angus the student, and played beautifully Mary the cook,
Yeah.
and the way that she smokes is mesmerising.
So she is the cook of the school,
That's correct.
and she, her son went to the school, and then unfortunately died in combat
That's right. Vietnam.
in Vietnam, and we've already spoken about quite a lot of this film, and we haven't ruined anything by
Not at
what
all.
we're talking about.
No.
But it does kind of explain what an onion of a movie this
Very
is.
much so.
There are so many layers to this film, and her character is wonderful because she's a very, very heartfelt human being. Who's
It feels like an Olivia Colman sort of character almost.
Yeah,
Do you think?
but she's in struggle. I mean,
Isn't she?
she's in pain.
Mm.
She also doesn't take these fools gladly.
No.
I mean, she calls them knobheads and idiots, and exactly as they are.
Absolutely.
And she doesn't pull any punches.
No.
She basically says it as it is.
That's right.
So you end up with this wonderful triptych of characters who are all so massively different, and all end up having this. This is the Christmas movie bit of it, isn't it? They all end up having
moments of joy and
and not joy, and difficultness, and disagreement, and
And what's really fascinating about this, it's a movie that initially gives you a very simple plot that we're looking at, 2 adults and a child stuck in a school over the Christmas period. None of them particularly want to be there. And then, as you've mentioned before, the onion starts to get peeled layer by layer by layer on each individual person within that group. And there's small connections with people in town ever so often. There's small connections with their past, and there's small connections with what could happen in the future as well. And I think it's really beautiful the way that it's directed in a certain way that you think you're in a safe space, and it just tilts it slightly, not to make you feel unsafe, but just to see things from a slightly different angle.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, to me, it was just a story that just mushroomed and bloomed and bloomed, and and so I felt there were similarities between this and Scent of a Woman. It was that kind of scholastic character, and a person in a position of power, and although they're educating the student, there's also
there's vulnerability that just
there's bi-directional education, they're teaching each other,
that's right,
different things about different things, and it's not the same film as that whatsoever. No. However, it just kind of that was one of the notes that I kind of got from it. It was a very similar type of structure at the beginning, and that was my parody.
Nice. Do you want to hear the taglines? I think the taglines are actually... I love a good tagline because I find a tagline that is either quite poignant to the movie or it's what the director wanted it to be but didn't quite achieve.
The working title.
Exactly. But I feel that these 2 taglines sum this movie up beautifully to the point where we don't even need to pundit it.
Well, I should have done it at the beginning.
Yeah. Discomfort and joy.
Yeah.
Works perfectly as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But the one that really hit home for me, and once you see the movie, it will make a lot more sense. They're all alone in this together.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it works really, really, really well. It was very, very clever. So should we talk about the cast?
Sure.
So Paul Giamatti.
You always get that wrong.
Paul Giamatti. I mean, obviously, he excels in Billions, and he excels in almost every single, apart from the Spider-Man movie, which we don't talk about. He excels in almost every single movie that he sets foot in, I think.
Well, especially Sideways.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Sideways. I was going to leave Sideways to the end, but so I felt that although this had the same director as Sideways and had the same lead actor as Sideways, and although it had you could tell it was penned by the same person, and it was directed by the same person, but I really do feel that Sideways is dated so badly, and I do feel that this film won't.
Well, yeah, it's got a latch on to Christmas, which is going to make it timeless.
Yeah, absolutely,
perfect timing. The only similarity I felt between Sideways and this was the tempo of it.
Yes,
it had that beautiful tumbleweed down the street pace to it, and it was.
But I think that was done on purpose to give you a 1970s vibe.
Oh, 100%.
So, for instance, the first 5 minutes was probably the longest intro that I've ever seen of a movie for a long, long time. Because traditionally, even if it's a slow movie, they'd start off with a fast pace or start with fast editing just to capture the consumer's eyes.
Well, so it starts in the snowy front gardens of the school.
Yeah, just
and then it pans to Paul Giamatti's window, and you're left looking at his window probably for 20 or 30 seconds before the film starts.
Absolutely.
It's,
But you the first 5 minutes is literally just somebody just shoveling some snow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that to me has got a really dated but in a positive way, not in a negative way. It
Oh,
really
it's
draws
brilliant.
you in.
It's brilliant. So, what about the rest of the cast?
Well, you've got Dominic, who I've never seen before, who plays Angus Tully.
Tully,
Mr. Tully.
I was trying to find him,
So was I.
and I think this is his cinematic
I think it
debut.
is.
He did some American TV thing.
Yeah, he's mainly
years ago.
acted in plays before.
So I initially thought he was from Stranger Things. He's got that look about him. He's got that sort of younger boy that's turned into an older boy look about him. That's what people do. I know that.
The only issue I've got with this film is he does look about 40, and he's supposed to be held back 2 years, isn't he? But it's
yeah, and I think that worked really. Initially, it was supposed to be I think they initially cast a freshman to play that role. And then Angus Tully came along, and he went actually, or Dominic C, and apparently Paul Giamatti took cast him and everything else. But I like him. Let's go for it. And I think the chemistry worked really well. Sorry, Nikki.
Yeah, no, I was agreeing with you. So he did take credit for getting him cast as Angus, claiming that he insisted on Alexander Payne giving him an audition after he was quite reluctant due to the lack of acting experience. And he had only acted on stage in plays at the Deerfield Academy in Massachusetts before acting in this movie. The reason is the casting people were unsatisfied with the traditional casting auditions, and so the filmmakers decided to reach out to drama departments in the area where the location was shot, and obviously that's how they discovered him.
Nice.
I thought his inexperience showed up a little bit.
I disagree.
Good.
I thought this is the making of a really good young actor coming up the ranks.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not
And
going to be great in the future, but
Yeah.
I felt he felt a bit green in places.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I felt the opposite. I felt that he had. That's the reason why I initially thought he came from the whole sort of Stranger Things back catalogue. I thought he's practiced a bit now. He's coming on a bit.
Okay,
It's
fair enough.
interesting.
So should we
isn't it?
just agree to say that I'm right this time?
Let's not. Anyway, and then obviously we've got Lydia Crane, the cook, and I'm not even going to try to. Her surname's called Rudolph.
It is, yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I wrote Randolph.
Oh no, it is Randolph. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Divine Joy Randolph.
Fine.
Yeah.
But I prefer Rudolph because it's at
Let's
Christmas.
call it Rudolph from now on.
And I know her from Only Murders in the Building, which I've only seen a couple of episodes.
So
but
I saw The Idol. She was in The Idol, and
was
she
she?
played a horrible agent in the Idol, and it was a terrible series, and it was vile. But in this, she came pretty close to stealing the show. I thought she smashed it.
Yeah.
In real life, she's actually a non-smoker, but she didn't want to smoke fake cigarettes because she thought it was too unrealistic.
Yeah.
So she actually opted to smoke real cigarettes for the on-screen role,
Right.
while being sensitive to not becoming addicted to nicotine. So she decided to go for American Spirit, as that was the brand she disliked the most and could quit quite easily after trying.
Wow. That's commitment.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
method, that's
I mean,
method, baby.
that's lung cancer, addiction, all sorts of things. But it's just strange how that was actually part of her character. I mean, that was one of the first things I mentioned about her.
Yeah, that and I love the fact they never drank whiskey out of a cup.
No.
It was always out of a mug. I just
Always out of a mug.
Yeah.
Always out of a mug. And poor Giamatti's eye. That needs to be addressed, okay?
Which one?
Exactly. Poor Giamatti's eye is actually probably the fourth member of the cast, I think, because it's mesmerising. Because he's got a lazy eye. Apparently, it was his idea.
It was, yeah. It started out as a prank.
Yes.
So he can just do that.
No, I think it's a
Contact lens.
I think it's
or
a
something.
contact lens. Yeah, but I'm convinced the reason why there's a question that comes up in the film where they're trying to figure out which eye is dodgy. And and then of course he doesn't say anything right until we won't say the spot to the end. However, I'm convinced that the contact lens is swapped ever so often, so it keeps the viewer guessing which eye. Because I'm convinced, that's why I think this kept the intrigue more interesting.
Right, I will look at that next time I watch it.
No pun intended there, Peter.
Well done.
The lazy eye.
There is a scene as well where Angus calls home.
Yes.
And apparently Dominic, the actor who plays Angus, kept flubbing the takes because he didn't know how to dial and had to be shown how to do it. It hadn't actually occurred to anyone that he'd never used a rotary phone before. That's not even a joke.
Oh, that That is so good.
Do you know what? That is a thing.
Yeah.
That is. I've seen that. I've seen millennials go up to a
and just tap
yeah.
them.
Honestly, I'll just talk at it.
Oh, that's made my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also maybe feel really, really old.
That's brilliant.
Thank you very, very much.
Right.
So there you have it. So it's you're right. I think it's going to be added to my personal Christmas list of movies to watch in December.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and I'm going to put this in the same category of the like
As Elf.
No, Trains, Planes and Automobiles.
Oh, okay.
It's got that
Oh, I didn't...
John Candy sort of feel to it. Not in the level of humour, but in the way it's shot.
Well, yeah, because the Planes, Trains and Automobiles was shot in the very early 80s, wasn't
That's
it?
right,
So
yeah.
that was kind of the tail end of this.
That's right.
Okay, I don't.
Just purely the feel,
Yeah.
not the content.
Yeah.
Not the content. What mark are you giving it?
8.5.
Ooh.
It is.
I'm giving it 8.9.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I
Yeah.
knew you would love this, and
I love this.
kind of hoped it would have a 9 on the front for you. But yeah, for
Not
8.5 for me.
Not yet. Not yet.
8.7 total.
8.7.
And it has had 199 award nominations and
What?
and 120 wins,
Good.
but no Chainsaw Awards.
No chainsaw.
unfortunately.
Good.
And British Cinema decided to not release this. I mean, I'm not being funny,
Oh no.
but come
Sort
on.
yourselves out.
We're doing our best here for
how are you
guys.
supposed to raise the bar when it comes to filmmaking if you're only just going to keep churning out Marvel movies?
I mean, but doesn't the top 10 feel like we're just waiting for June 2 to come out?
I'm
Part 2
afraid
to come
so,
out? I
yes.
mean, it's literally everything's just sinking down and the
waiting.
shit is
Just
rising.
waiting.
And they've confirmed the date of Beetlejuice 2.
Have
I
they?
believe so. I believe it's 9th of September or something. Around about the 9th of September.
Wow, that's worth waiting.
But I will confirm that.
Right, so that's our top 10, and we've reviewed the Holdovers. So on a weekly basis, I like to give Peter a film to watch. Hopefully he hasn't seen it before. It's from a back catalogue of my favourite movies. I've got a whole Santa's sack of movies in my back catalogue that I've seen. And I haven't seen these movies just once, and I haven't just heard about these movies. The movies that I recommend to Peter, I've seen many, many times over and over again.
So I thought you were just going through the list of films that Olivia Colman has starred in.
Not yet.
and-
No. We've got a different. We're moving to a different angle this week.
Okay.
And I'm always amazed when I mention movies that I adore to people. I'm always amazed and outstanded that they haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of joyed when I turn around to you and go, "Have you seen this movie?" And you go, "No," and I'm sort of bemused, but also joyful because you're going to experience it the first time. Peter, what homework did I give you this week? Who's starring in it? And give us a small synopsis of the movie before you get emotional.
Right, okay. So I was set the homework
Yes.
of watching Tyrannosaur. And I've underlined that with the subheading of heavy, heavy shit.
Yes.
Because it was really
Wasn't it?
heavy shit.
Yeah.
So it's directed by Paddy Considine.
Yes.
It's
Who's completely underrated as a director, I think.
I mean, he's a very, very good
Yeah.
director. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that. And it is basically starring Peter Mullen
Yes.
as a guy called Joseph and Olivia Colman as Hannah.
Yes.
And I've forgotten to write down the actor's name that plays Hannah's husband.
Yes.
Who is, could you do that for us, please, Nikki?
What's Hannah's husband called? Dan?
I can't remember.
Terry? Paul? Garav?
No, it's
It'll come up in the top three.
It will.
It'll be in the top three
anyway,
build.
So this is basically a story of Joseph,
Yes.
who is an aggressive, abusive, angry man.
Yes, very.
Who has a lot of pent up anger, and it's basically the story of his life developing and unraveling, and it feels very, very on the edge.
Yeah.
It's
The opening scene with the dog.
it's yeah. So he's in.
So
the
it's based
pub.
in England.
Yeah. So and it's
I think it's fairly relevant to the time it was made. I think as well.
yeah. So it's So I'm struggling a bit to describe it because
That's okay.
not actually that much.
No.
It's not a huge period of time that we're talking
No.
about in this movie. I mean, it's not as
It's more acting based than story based. I think.
yeah. I mean, it is. So I didn't really enjoy watching this film.
No, nobody does.
It's so uncomfortable to watch because basically you're looking at two people's lives pretty much unraveling, and so basically Olivia Colman plays a religious charity shop worker who Joseph stumbles across, and they end up forging a friendship.
Yeah.
And that friendship causes issues for both of them, even though it's not a sexual tryst.
No, not at all. You never get that impression, do you?
It's a friendship.
Yes.
But other people around them don't like the fact that it's going on, and they are basically everyone's hated by everybody, and it's that kind of it's set in very very poor conditions. The neighbours are vile.
Yep.
There's a couple with a child and a pit bull terrier, and there's a kind of a storyline which kind of travels along that route. Olivia Colman's character and her husband have an absolutely, one of the most disgusting portrayals of a relationship I've ever seen in a film.
It's very uncomfortable, isn't it, to watch?
It's a real battle to watch it, and
he's almost too good as an abusive husband.
His opening scene is walking into the house drunk and basically urinating over Olivia Colman, who's asleep on the sofa.
That's right.
And it's just so believable. It's literally like you're looking through the window of a life of just really bitterly
that's a really good way of putting it.
Unhappy people. And I don't want you to recommend any more films like this. Or they need to come with a warning because it's brutal.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And brutal in a completely different way than I've subjected you to brutality in the past. Whereas in the past it's almost been science fiction related.
It's been fantasy before.
Exactly.
This is
a
a massive
real
shot of reality in your ass.
I agree.
It is just like you're walking through a city centre and you've turned a corner and then you witness something that you wish you'd never witnessed.
100%. And you can't do anything about it.
No.
You're the voyeur and you're watching it, and at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it in the slightest.
Peter Mullen, my God, the acting in this is absolutely, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And again, Olivia Colman just like absolutely mesmerising. But I just don't know that it needed to be made. I just don't know that I needed to see that level of upset and anger and violence, and because even when it's not violent, you feel that violence is just there. It's gonna happen.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an uncomfortable watch. It is a watch that. I think it's a watch that reminds us that some bad things happen in this world.
So why,
and it's not a million miles away.
Why did you enjoy watching this film, or did you not enjoy watching
this
film?
I watched it 3 times so far.
Okay.
And whenever I watch it, I feel sort of empty at the end. I feel it's very sad, and it's you feel like it sucks a little bit of humanity out of you a little bit, because you feel that you're out of control. You can't control these things, and these things are happening all the time.
Yeah, I found it difficult because you mentioned the fact that you got upset once when you watched it, and I found it difficult to get upset about it because I didn't feel that any of the characters deserved my upset. I
think after the second or third watch, when you're anticipating or when you know when something's going to happen, that's when the upsetness comes in, because you can't control it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's an interesting watch. However, I had to I had to pay for this on Prime.
I do apologise.
No, it's fine. I don't mind paying for something, but I would maybe suggest to the viewers and listeners that maybe they wait for it to come out just on a standard stream, because it's a lot to pay for that.
Yes.
It's a brutal watch.
But if you are in a really good mood and you want to be taken out of it, that might be the way forward for it.
Yeah,
really.
If you're preparing for a fight or something, it's something that I didn't know that I needed to watch.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that I needed to watch it.
I like to think that every piece of art that we watch on the silver screen or at home has a different job to do. And I think some films and some stories take you away to fantasy land, and some stories remind you of what's going on in reality. And I think this is one of those films. And I think to me, it's like different tastes in music. You know, I'm able to go from, you know, from pop to, you know, hardcore punk, and the hardcore punk is just as important as the uplifting pop, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. What mark are you going to give it?
I'm going to give this a flat 7.
Okay.
It was
7.5 on IMDb.
So, I mean, the reason being is that all of the component parts are stunning. I mean, like the direction is beautiful. The cinematography is beautiful. The acting is absolute. I mean, you believe they are the characters. I mean, like, you know, you believe that you're watching real life.
Yeah.
But I just didn't enjoy it because it was just such a hard watch.
Yeah. Okay.
Was the husband called James by any chance?
We could keep asking me names all night and I wouldn't be able to tell you.
If
But
it's who I think it is, he's played. It's Eddie Marsan, who was in the TV programme The Thief, His Wife and the Canoe. He's been in a lot of BBC programmes, and actually he also plays Amy Winehouse's dad.
That's him, yes.
That's him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's him, yeah.
And he was also the editor of the newspaper in The Gentleman.
In The Gentleman, that's that's where I was trying to get him from. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's him.
Yeah.
And he is the vilest
Isn't he?
human being.
I
If you could
really
ever,
like him as an actor.
he's so good. But
He's
honestly,
so-
I wanted to punch the television,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the last time
Yeah.
I've been so angry about someone.
And I think what makes it even worse, he's a tiny little man.
Yes.
He's a tiny, tiny little man. There's nothing to him at all, but he's just evil and vicious.
But the
nasty.
worst bit isn't when he's evil and vicious.
No, it's when he's.
When he's nice.
No.
When he's nice,
Yes.
that's when I wanted to punch the television.
No, I agree.
He
with
is
you.
5'8.5".
Oh, he's
Not that short.
a giant. He's a giant, isn't he?
Compared to me.
The Tyrannosaur actually had 24 wins, including a BAFTA and 25 nominations.
What was the BAFTA for?
The BAFTA was Outstanding Debut by a British Writer, Director or Producer.
Oh, fair enough.
2012 it was.
See, classy stuff I give you. Classy stuff. It's all. I mean, it's all good stuff I give you, whether you like it or not. I like to think.
Wait, it
so.
wasn't 121 awards that the Holdovers got, was it? Or was it?
No, it wasn't. Would you like some homework?
Not really. Can have a week off. It's half term.
Okay. I'm gonna yet again. I'm gonna give you two pieces of homework. That one could be watched by you, and the other one could be watched as a reference for our listeners as well. Have you seen the Jennifer Lawrence movie? Jennifer Lawrence, quite commercial for me.
You were saying Lopez then.
Okay. Actually, Jennifer Lopez was in an amazing film called The Cell, which we'll come back. We'll visit that later another time. The only decent movie she's ever been in. Have you seen Mother?
No.
Oh, you're in for
Have you seen
joy.
I've seen Mother.
Yeah.
You're in for
That
a
was that was
joyride.
an inhalation of breath from Nikky.
Yes.
Don't want to give away anything.
Yes. Mother is a couple's relationship is tested when uninvited guests arrive at their home, disrupting their tranquil existence. Okay. Now you've got Jennifer Lawrence, you've got Ed Harris, who we all loved Ed Harris. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer in it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's got a good cast.
Javier Bardem.
And yeah, exactly. I was waiting to pronounce his
Michelle
name.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
I just said that, didn't I?
Michelle, yeah, so it's got a really good cast. Okay. Now you can't go to the toilet. Okay, you have to watch this movie from start to finish. Okay, and you have to really concentrate on this movie.
Okay.
And you know what? It's not brutal. It's not. It's. I mean, it's not a family movie, but not very many of my movies are, apart from my cell with the shoes on. But it is. It's fascinating. It's by the same director as Black Swan,
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
also The Whale.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
That's the level we're looking
Oh,
at.
happy days,
Okay,
okay,
happy
cool.
days. It's going to be joyful.
You had the longest wee break in
I
the
know.
Holdovers ever. You were
did.
gone for so long.
I did consume a lot of liquid before, and it
Okay.
all came out.
I was worried. I thought you kind of left.
It all came out being no. The second film is a 2019 film. Okay, so we've gone from a Jennifer Lawrence movie to this is a Spanish movie.
Okay.
I love a good subtitle movie. Okay, this is a 2019 movie. Have you seen the movie The Platform?
No.
Okay, so it's a
Excited.
it's a sci-fi horror.
Okay, cool.
Okay. However, yet again, very similar to Mother. I mean, it's not similar to Mother at all, but what I'm trying to explain to you is there's more to it than meets the eye.
Okay.
Not as much as Mother, though, to be fair. Okay. But it is, I would consider Platform to be a Friday night movie.
Okay.
Okay. Mother hasn't got a day.
Okay.
That's all I've got to say to you. Mother hasn't got a day. Mother has to be watched.
Okay, from start to finish
From
without
start-
a break.
Without a break.
Now, considering I think I missed the big plot twist in All of Us Strangers, this has got me
Yes.
worried that I'm going to just these are going to go over my head and I'm not going to get one whatsoever.
There is a... What you need to do is keep away from the internet. Don't look at any reviews. Don't look at any feedback on Mother.
I never do.
I tell you the reason why, because a lot of things were said about this movie afterwards. A lot of things were said about this movie afterwards. Quite a lot of it was pretty much spot on in reference to references and so on and so forth. There's a lot of anger about this movie as well. Very controversial movie as well. It's upset a lot of people, but it's also started lots of conversations as well.
Okay.
Happy?
Yes, the Platform is available on Netflix. Did you know there's a Platform 2?
Yeah, I've kept away from it.
And Mother is available on Amazon Prime and Google and Apple TV.
Okay.
There's got to be a train joke about Platform 2, surely.
Yeah, there must be.
There's no trains in it.
Also, just a quick...
Yes.
It's actually the 6th of September. Beetlejuice 2 is...
Is
I think I
it?
said 9th earlier.
Okay, 6th September. Okay.
And any news on Deadpool?
It's not alive.
Okay.
July,
Is
isn't
that
it?
the Wolverine one? Let's see.
So we're going to go and see this week.
I'll tell you exactly what we're going to go to see.
Oh, Zone of Interest.
No, June 2.
Oh,
Friday night.
Friday, yes we are. Fantastic.
Friday night. So next week we are reviewing June 2, which we're very, very excited about. I'm probably going to see it 3 times while I've got
Before we review it.
yeah, because I've got you. Are you seeing it on Friday night?
Yeah.
So you've got you, Doug, and the number of other people. Sophie was unable to get a ticket for Friday night because it was completely packed.
Yeah, Pauline couldn't either.
Yeah, so
But then Leo Miles pulled out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so Pauline now has a ticket.
Ah, right, okay. Well, in that case, I will probably watch it again on Sunday with my wife.
Okay.
Yes.
Deadpool vs Wolverine in the US is out on the 26th of July. Not quite sure when.
Oh,
in the
okay, so we're
UK,
going to be
it'll
talking
similar.
after autumn
Yeah,
release.
exactly.
Fair enough.
Nice.
Awesome.
I really enjoyed that one.
That's good fun, wasn't it?
Yes, it was indeed. Right. So there's your Popcorn Pundits. That is your review of the top 10. That's Peter and I's review of the Holdovers and also Peter's homework.
Yeah, and there was lots of movies this week.
There
It
was
good.
lots of
And
movies.
one not movie.
If you have seen any movies that we haven't spoken about this week, please get in contact with us via Instagram or YouTube. Or if you disagree with any of our reviews, get in contact with us as well.
Or why not send us a voice note and we can play it in next week's episode?
That's a great idea, yes.
Well, let us know if you've listened to the podcast and you're enjoying it.
Yeah, or if
Or
there's,
not enjoying it.
if there's any particular bits, like you not knowing who Charlie is in Charlie's Angels, or or whether
Thanks,
you
Glenn.
trimmed your nose hair or not.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So there you have it. Would you like to papa us out?
Okay, I'm about to do it, so don't jump.
Okay. Popcorn Pundits,
Podcast.
week.
18.
19.
19. I missed a week.
Oh, I forgot to put my shoes on.
I
didn't.
didn't want to say